At the moment, we're going to transition here on The Drive with Tim Donelly on 99.9 The Fan to look ahead to the Panthers game this weekend. They're taking on the Lions, who has somehow become like America's team. And we have one of the greats of former Lions players, Glover Quin, former Pro Bowler and All-Pro Lions safety, also the host of the Bleav in Lions podcast, is joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Glover, thank you very much for taking the time to jump on the show. How did the Lions become like everybody's second favorite team? For most of my life, it's actually been kind of, fun to poke fun at the Lions, and now suddenly everybody loves those guys. What happened?
Yeah, first of all, man, thanks for having me on the show.
Of course.
Second of all, I don't know, man. I think sometimes, Hard Knocks shows a different side of a team, shows the realness, the inside, the outside, and sometimes people get connected with a story or something like that, and then you see them playing, and they play really hard, really tough in a lot of games, and they came out on the losing end on some of those games, but you still could see how they were playing, and you started to realize, okay, the coach is different, the players are, and so you kind of start to, I don't want to say root for them, but be interested. And then the last few times on national TV, they've performed well. They beat Green Bay in the last game of the season. They beat Kansas City to open up the season. Then they come back and they beat Green Bay again on Thursday night. So when you show up on national TV with a lot of eyes watching, people can see, okay, those guys look a little different.
And I also think it's some of the personalities that we saw on that Hard Knocks, one of which being Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? He memorized all the receivers going above him, and you start to root for him a little bit. How big of a loss would it be? He's not practicing again today for this Panthers game this weekend if Amon-Ra can't go and can't be that safety blanket for Jared Goff.
That's going to be a tough blow. I think they have a lot of weapons, though, that they can overcome it for a game, which, I think, just on paper, they should be able to beat this Carolina team. If the defense plays super solid, they should be able to hold this offense down and give the offense a chance. But it's the NFL. You just never know. They went to Carolina last year, Christmas Eve, and got beat up on pretty good. So you just never know how the game's going to play out. They're getting Jameson Williams back this week. That'll open up more things underneath for Sam Laporta. If Amon-Ra St. Brown can't play, they also can use Jahmyr Gibbs more as a slot receiver to kind of help out a little bit in those situations. So I think they got some answers. I think they got some options of things that they can do. We just have to see what they decide to do if he can't go.
Glover Quin, former Pro Bowler, All-Pro Lions safety, connecting with us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. You brought up some of the more interesting names there in your answer, so I want to dive into a few of them. The Panthers are a bit banged up at corner coming into this one. Jameson Williams finally off suspension. He was hurt for most of last year, former first-round pick at the wide receiver spot. Can he jump right in and be that same guy he was at Alabama? What are you hearing about his dynamic ability right from the gate when he gets put back into the lineup?
Well, I think he can, and the thing that you hope that happens for a young kid like that is that, you don't take the game for granted, and you really enjoy the opportunity to play the game. Being hurt for most of last season and getting a little taste of it, then getting suspended, not being able to play, is really difficult to sit back and, watch your brothers go to war. When you can play, you just are, coming off of things that you can avoid. So hopefully he's been working out and training. I think he's going to be good to go. I think they're probably going to try to work him in slowly, but if Amon-Ra St. Brown can't go, he'll probably get thrust in a little bit more. But I think he should hit the ground running. He was able to go through training camp, so it's not like he's coming off an injury where he hasn't been able to run and play. He played all during training camp, played in some preseason games. He just had to sit out for the first 4 games. I'm sure he's in pretty good shape, and he's ready to go.
Glover Quin, check out his podcast, the Bleav in Lions podcast, former Pro Bowler, All-Pro Lions safety. Glover, there's a lot of fantasy football players all over the place asking this question, so I'll ask it on their behalf. Why isn't Mr. Gibbs getting more carries after being drafted 12th overall, and they're giving so much to Montgomery and everybody else?
I think that's just a philosophy of what they're trying to do. I think David is a bigger runner. And so I think they really want to come behind this O-line and kind of have a ground and pound game. And I think it's a benefit for the Lions. I know for fantasy owners, they want to see him get more touches right now. But if you're winning the games, you're controlling the game, and you're able to bring him along slowly and sprinkle him in there and just allow him to continue to grow, develop, and get better, I think that'll only help the Lions as they go down the stretch in November and December to have him healthy and fresh. And so I think they just kind of going based off of how the games are going. And they got a plethora of weapons that they can go to. So just trying to get him in, get him more carries. That I think they're doing a good job, and I know the fans want to see him get more. And I'm sure as the season goes along, he'll get more. Just got to be patient.
I want to do a couple quick quarterback comparisons. You played with Matt Stafford, a number 1 overall pick. This game is a matchup of former number 1 overall picks. Jared Goff called out Ryan Fitzpatrick for calling him a poor man's Matt Ryan after last week's game. Is it time to start bringing out the receipts and rubbing it in the face of all the people that doubted Jared Goff when he was traded away from the Rams?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that's something that the media and fans and stuff will do. And Jared will probably know all those things, but until you go and win a division, make the playoffs, go a deep run in the playoffs, get to a championship game, hopefully get to a Super Bowl, there's no point of going back and saying, look what I've done. I mean, you've won some regular season games. Yeah, you're playing well. You've done some really good things, but I don't think the Lions brought you here just to win some regular season games, right? So you want to get over the hump, want to get to the playoffs, get a chance to go deep into the playoffs. And so I think once he does those things, then you won't have to bring up the receipts. The people will bring it up for you. So, I mean, we used to always say, let your actions speak so loud that you don't have to say a word. So, it sucks that Matt Ryan, Ryan Fitzpatrick would say something like that, because I think Jared Goff is way better than a poor man's Matt Ryan. But I think the focus should be on playing and just continuing to win games and letting your play speak for itself. And once you get deeper in the playoff run, hopefully the Super Bowl, the people will speak up for you, and you don't really have to say much.
Last one for you before we let you go, and thank you for taking the time. It's Glover Quin, former Pro Bowler, All-Pro Lions safety, and also the host of the Bleav in Lions podcast, joining us here on The Drive with Tim Donelly. I want you to try to go back in time to when you were patrolling a defensive secondary, leading the league in interceptions. If you had a situation like the one the Lions faced this week, in which the Lions defense is giving up the fewest rushing yards in the league, so teams are going to test you through the air, and you're facing a rookie quarterback like Bryce Young, what are you doing to him? How are you trying to confuse him? What's your mindset going into a matchup like this one against Bryce?
Well, I hated playing against rookie quarterbacks, honestly.
Really?
So, yeah, I hated playing against rookie quarterbacks.
Why is that?
That's because they are coach-driven. Meaning, unless something is wide open, they don't really take a lot of chances. So they're going to check the ball down, throw quick screens, quick slants, quick routes. They don't take a lot of chances, especially if you're a Pro Bowler or you got a big – they're not going to challenge you in a sense because they're young. And the coach done told them, hey, just make sure we know where this guy's at. Let's not take shots here or there. If it's not wide open, let's just take the check down. Let's not turn the ball over, all those things. So that's what's going on in rookie quarterbacks' minds, right? It's when you get the veteran guys who feel like they can make every throw. They trust themselves to make a good throw more than they trust that you'll make a good play on them. So they're going to throw it to their guys. They're going to take shots when they want to take shots. And that's when you get the most chances to pick off players. Bryce Young, if it's not there, he'll probably take a sack. He'll scramble out, throw the ball away. But he's probably not going to just try to force the ball and throw a bunch of interceptions, right? It's the guys like Daniel Jones, who is a veteran, but, you know what I'm saying, not super great. So he's going to try to throw the ball, but he's throwing it to the other team.
So you like the guys that have the confidence in their arm, but maybe don't have the Matt Stafford arm to back it up.
Right. Or just the confidence to give you a chance. I feel like as a DB, you just want an opportunity to make a play on the ball. Like for Sauce Gardner, it sucks going a whole game where they don't ever throw it at you. And then they throw it at you maybe one time, Like, you want an opportunity to make plays. If they throwing it to your guy and he make catches, hey, you just got to tip your hat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when they put the ball up in the air, I feel like you got an opportunity to make a play. They got an opportunity to make a play. If they don't ever throw it your way, like, you don't ever have an opportunity to make a play. And I necessarily didn't like that. I like playing against teams that would challenge us. And I was a deep safety, free safety. So I wanted to play against teams that's going to take shots. Like, throw the ball down the field, throw the ball across the middle, make some of those passes, and if you complete them, fine. We just got to play better defense, but at least we get an opportunity to make big plays in the game. And I don't know if the Lions will get that from a Bryce Young. If it's not there, I see him running, scrambling, trying to get out the pocket, not forcing throws, looking at maybe his first read and maybe his second read, and if it's not there, he's probably taking off. I don't think he's going to be sitting in the pocket going through third and fourth progressions and this and that. He's going to check one, look two, look for the check down, and get out the pocket. And then, he's running out of bounds or throwing the ball out of bounds and things like that. I don't even know how many interceptions has he thrown on the season.
He had 2 in the first game and a couple fumbles. He's put it in harm's way a few times. Right.
So a fumble for a DB, you may get a chance to recover that, but that's D-line and linebackers and stuff like that. You see, he had 2 in the first game, and they probably put a ring on that thing. Hey, we can't be making these throws right now. Hey, we can't. So now you hold on to the ball a little longer. Now you get sacked, and then boom, you fumble.
All right, Glover, we appreciate it. I hadn't thought about it that way. Appreciate the time, though. We're up against the break, and hopefully we're able to catch up again soon.
All right, man. Thank you, guys.